Hi, Goodman here. In today's video, I want to show you how to land your first six-figure client, even if you have no experience. So let me start with this question. Can a pastor work secularly and earn money? Well, I didn't think so, because we were not brought up to believe that a pastor should work secularly to earn money. We were brought up to believe that just cling to your Bible. Read your Bible day and night, cling to God's work, read your devotionals, evangelize, do every other thing that is ministry inclined, then God will meet your needs. What a misleading idea. Growing up in ministry, the greatest challenge I've ever faced was finances. I never had a large congregation that could foot my bill, and yet for many years I was scared to start my own business. However, many years ago, a friend saw some of my published books and some other publications that I produced. Then he made up his mind I'll be the one to publish his own books for him. I agreed to handle my friend's book project, and his books came out so beautifully. From that experience, my friend began to challenge me not to waste my talent. He told me there was nothing wrong in a minister starting a publishing company and producing the same type of beautiful books for other people. So he challenged me to start my own publishing company in 2004. So reluctantly, I floated a pseudo company and I began to publish books for other people, though not for much profit. I was only doing it to help people because I still nursed the fear of not starting a business as a pastor. They made us believe that a business will affect ministry work negatively. It wasn't until 2018 that I officially registered my own company, Million Values Concepts. That was more than 14 years later since my friend challenged me before I could have the confidence to start a real business. After registering the company in 2018, guess who my first client was? It was a six-figure client that eventually wrote me a check in millions. So, if you are afraid to start a business, whether online or offline, the little story I've told you should give you the boldness to step out. By watching this video today, you're on the verge of stepping into financial freedom. I dare you. Now, let's begin with this. Why start a business? There are a few reasons why you need to start your business. I don't know who you are watching this video. Perhaps you're a pastor, just like me, with a meager salary. Or you work 6 to 9, and of course, your salary is not enough for you. It's just a rat race. Wherever you are watching this video, you should know that financial difficulty can be very embarrassing. Are you a pastor earning a meager salary? Are you a civil servant with no real retirement plan? Or you're a graduate, you've just gotten a certificate, and yet no job is forthcoming? Or you work in a place where you're being paid like someone that didn't go to school at all? Or are you a business owner with inconsistent income? Or wait a minute, are you someone that is planning to travel abroad, but you do not want to end up getting abroad and working like a modern slave? Or generally, you are just tired of working very hard with nothing to show for it? If this sounds like you, wait a minute, I've been in your shoes, but I found a way out, a clear roadmap to wealth, which doesn't depend on luck or endless hustle. I've packaged this secret in a free, powerful masterclass, the Legacy Wealth Roadmap. In this powerful masterclass, I've broken down how to escape this cycle that everybody goes through and build true financial freedom. No fluff, no hype, just free strategies that work. If you're ready, I want you to click the link below this video to watch the masterclass and see if this is the direction that you've been looking for. So click the link below this video and I will see you on the other side. So why start a business? You start a business because number one, financial difficulty is a pain in the neck. 2, because if you do not have money and you are always broke, people will mock you and you will end up becoming a nuisance. People don't want to hang around someone that is always in need, or they do not want someone that is always in need to hang around them. That alone should make you mad at lack. Your constant mantra should always be, millionaires and billionaires don't have two heads. They only do what I'm not doing. So if you can do what they do, you can also have what they have. Meaning that if you are willing to do what millionaires and billionaires do, you also will have what they have. If you are constantly struggling with finances, you are positioning yourself wrongly. Now understand this. If you are a salary earner, you should know that your salary may never take you out of financial struggles. Look around you and you will discover that the movers and shakers of any country are not salary earners. They are business owners. This is why I always advocate starting a business as your retirement plan. Now, when I say retirement plan, don't overthink it. It doesn't mean waiting to retire until you are 60, 65, or 70, as the case may be. You can retire from your 9 to 5 at any age into a life that you will have full control of. I never received a salary for over 30 years as a pastor. I'm not the type who can stand in front of a congregation and raise money. So I know that raising money or generating funds as a pastor was not the route for me. But after starting a business as a publisher and a ghostwriter, I've managed projects that have generated 6 figures for me all year round. And I prefer that to standing in front of people and raising money for any project. So I'm here to tell you today that financial struggles do not only respond to prayers. Though prayer is very important important, but they also respond to inspired ideas. So let us go straight to how you can land your six-figure client, even if you have no experience at this moment that you are watching this video. So I'm going to be taking you through a few steps to land your six-figure client with no experience. These steps that I'm going to share with you were the exact steps I took to be where I am today. And I know you can take the same steps, you'll be where I am, or even beyond where I am presently. The first step is you must learn high income skills. I remember at a young age of 24, when I started out as a pastor, I knew that I shouldn't just loaf about with my Bible and devotional, waiting for the next preaching engagement. I needed to fill up space by learning some skills. So as far back as early 90s, graphic design was the first skill that occurred to me. But there was a challenge. I had no computer. If you remember, in the early 90s, computers were not so rampant. Even few people that owned a computer were using the computers in business centers. So I would hop into a computer center and I would start using their computers. Some of these people felt I was taking so much space. So I entered an agreement with them and I started paying them for using their computers. So I would enter those business centers, sit down there for hours every day, learning to practice with different programs on the computer. And that was how graphic design became my interest. I tell you the truth, graphic design opened a new world for me. I began to design my own book covers. I began to design my magazines and other publications. I started using Corel 6 or 7. I would just sit down and start practicing how to design. Of course, if you look at those designs today, they will look horrible. That was all I could do then. That was how I started. Even though as a young pastor, I knew that ministry was my calling, but I knew that developing skills was my responsibility. I didn't go the route of people that would just carry their Bible from morning till night, praying, counseling, without developing themselves. I was unconsciously led to start developing these skills. I studied civil engineering in the university, but since I entered ministry, I knew I was not going to use my certificate to practice. So the extra time I had, I needed to develop myself. That was how I went into writing. I started writing, practicing writing, and graphic design. Even after I got married in the year 2000, I looked for someone around to teach me HTML and web design. And I was able to get a young man who started teaching me HTML, even though I was a pastor. There were not many online resources back then. No YouTube tutorials or no free resources online where you could learn all those things. So I needed to hire a teacher to teach me. So this guy taught me for a while, but after the guy got married, we couldn't continue the tutorial. And it was not until year 2014 that I discovered I could teach myself how to design websites by watching YouTube tutorials. So I dove into YouTube tutorials and I started teaching myself, and little by little, I became skilled in web design. Don't forget, I'd already known something about graphic design. I'd known about writing. Now, I was teaching myself in 2014 about web design. That was when I discovered that I could use WordPress to design websites without any knowledge of coding. Shout out to my online teachers. One of the key teachers that I remember is Fred Kopachuk, who taught me how to design websites from A to Z. I consumed his video tutorials until I became proficient in designing websites. Today, I know how to design websites, handle cPanels, and work with many hosting platforms such as SiteGround, Bluehost, or Hostinger, and others. As a pastor, I taught myself all these skills. I later discovered that skills are what will make you economically relevant anywhere, anytime. Just like I pointed out, as a pastor, I taught myself all these skills. So from website design, I transitioned to digital marketing. Initially, I thought the skills would just be useful for ministry, to design my ministry books, magazines, and some other publications. But over time, I discovered that people started getting drawn to my work. Who did this job for you? Who designed this book for you? Please, can you do the same thing for us? That's how I started to offer my skills as a service. Ever since then, I've published books for so many people, even for those that we've never met physically. They just saw the works I did and reached out to me. Some of them are in the United States, in the United Kingdom, all over the world. People that I've never seen before. I've published their books and I've handled their projects. This is why I advocate all the time that the first step towards transforming your life is to develop high income skills. Don't be deceived to think that just because you're a salaried worker or you're a pastor that is under a GO that is being paid a salary, that's where it ends. I promise you, it doesn't end there if you do not want it to end there. If you work 9 to 5, that time is for your employer. What you do from 5 to 9 is your own business. You can use that period to build high income skills. Now, I can charge whatever I want because I have the skills to render as a service. When I publish or render any service with my skills, I can make anything from $500 to $2,000. That's the power of high income skills. If your skills only make you $10, $25, $50, please don't stop there. You've got to do something to it so that it can become a high income skill that you can use to target high paying clients. Until you get there, please do not rest. first. Rich people are looking for those that can solve their problems. And guess the kind of people that rich people are looking for? They are looking for people with high income skills because they are high paying clients. They are not looking for mediocre workers. They are looking for people that are professionals that can solve their problems. Position yourself as someone that has the high income skill that can solve premium problems for rich people, and you too will become rich. That is the secret. So when we talk about people with high income skills, the big question is, are you one of them? There's no way in the world I would have landed 6-figure or 7-figure clients if I didn't have high income skills. It's your expertise that earns you high paying opportunities. So the first step is simple. Learn high income skills. Not just one, as many as you can learn. The second step to getting your 6-figure client after developing high paying skills is start using your skill set to build personal projects. What do I mean by that? After developing your skill set, or while you are still building your skills, don't wait for a client. Start using it to build personal projects. For example, when I was hopping from one business center to another, I was not looking for paid gigs. I was using the computer to build personal projects. That was when I was learning how to design my own newsletters. I wasn't looking for any client's job. I was doing my personal jobs. To be candid, I had no idea that I would one day offer these skills as a service to others. So instead of waiting for a client, I was using my skill to design handbills for the church, to transcribe my messages, to format my personal books, and to design my own book covers. I became addicted to using my skills to publish my books and newsletters because I knew that a great part of my ministry would be to write books and distribute all over the world. So I was addicted to using my skills to do that, and I was getting better and better. As a result of this, I've written and published more than 200 books distributed all over the world. And let me tell you the truth, I would not have been able to do all this if I didn't have all those skills. As a matter of fact, till date, I publish up to 4 magazines, apart from the 200 books that I've written. So many people that know me today got to know me through my books and other publications. And the reason why I could be widespread was just because I had the skills to design, to write, to format books. I started using those things for myself. I was not even looking for any clients. As a result of using these skills to build my own personal project, invitations started coming from churches. Some people would just get in touch with my publication and they would want me to come and speak in their churches. These skills started bringing growth, even personally to me, not even talk of business at all. Because I wasn't even thinking at that time in terms of using the skill to make money. So at that time, if I learned any graphic design style, I'll first of all use it to practice designing my own book project. I did this for years before people started noticing and asking me, please, can you do this same type of job for us? The mistake many people make is that they want to instantly monetize a skill after they just finished learning it. They've not even proven the skills. The best way to test a skill is to use it to build something for yourself. For instance, when I first learned how to design websites, I used the skill to build many websites for myself. As a matter of fact, I bought a lot of domain names, built many websites that I didn't really need, just to keep practicing how to build websites. Today, many of those websites have expired domains and they're outdated, but I didn't care. All I knew was that was how I gained confidence that I was not going to mess up when I got a client's job. Every new skill I acquired, I used the skill to build personal projects first of all. This allowed me to refine my craft without risking my credibility. If you have not proven a skill and you just rush out to look for a client, you risk your credibility because the mistakes you ought to have made using the skill to build something for yourself, you will go and make that mistake with a client's job, and that is embarrassing. If you fail on your own project, that's no big deal. You fail forward, you correct the mistakes, then get better. But failing on a client's project can damage your reputation. And of course, as the saying goes, the first impression matters. If you damage your reputation by spoiling a client's job, you will never get that reputation back again. However, if you practice your craft by using the skill that you've developed to do something for yourself over and over again, you would have refined your craft, and the risk of damaging a client's job would have drastically reduced. That's why you should keep practicing, honing your skills, and perfecting your project. By the time you start offering services to clients, you would have minimized your chances of failure. I want us to move to step 3 for getting your first 6-figure client. The third step is you need eyeballs on your personal project. Don't forget, step 1 is you must develop high income skills. Then step 2 is to start using the skills to build personal projects. Never wait for clients before you start using your skills to build projects. Now you've been building personal projects and you can discover that your projects are getting better and better. The third step, you need eyeballs. If you want to attract quality clients, then make sure the people that eyeball your project are quality people. In the online world, it's called building an audience or gaining followers. And this is the foundation of all marketing. Even if your work is better than those people that have huge following online, but if no one knows you exist, it wouldn't matter. Way back then, when I was using the skills that I developed to build personal projects, I want you to remember that the internet was still in its infancy. There was no social media. I'm talking about way back in the 90s. No social media, no Instagram, no X Twitter, no Facebook. But I was doing something offline and I never knew. All I was doing was marketing. I ensured that I gave all my projects exposure, though I didn't know what I was doing at that time was marketing. Way back then, since there was no social media, no X Twitter, no Facebook, and no Instagram, I thought of the best way to get my works out there. And the thought came to me that I should start a weekly newsletter. So I started a weekly newsletter where I published just a short message, then I will advertise all my other publications. That publication was Faith Booster. Of course, if you see the first edition today, you will laugh, but later on, I got better and better. Today, Faith Booster is an international magazine. I can show you copies of Faith Booster. It is now a colorful magazine of several pages. So you can see I have so many editions like that published. The first edition of Faith Booster was published in 1995. It was a simple one-color publication where I wrote a short message and advertised my other books. I even distributed free copies in churches and to as many people as wrote me that it needed copies. Lo and behold, pastors and some other professionals started noticing how beautiful this publication was and they started asking for my services. Even though social media wasn't around and the internet was just emerging, yet I was getting ways to get visibility. Imagine what you could achieve today with social media and online platforms. They can expose your works faster than you can imagine. So no matter how good your work is, if nobody knows you exist, you're going nowhere. So the third step is to get your beautiful works out there and let people see that you exist. What I'm saying in essence is, don't just create projects and let them sit in silence. Publish them. Share your designs, writing ability, and any other skill online. Go and create your account on Instagram or whichever social media suits whatever you do and start publishing your work. Start talking about your work. Start writing. Start displaying your skills. Take your work to places where people will appreciate it. Target audiences that value your craft. When artists hold exhibitions, what do you think they are doing? Apart from selling their works, they also expose it for people to see. That exposure is what leads to getting new clients. In the online world, exhibitions are your social media posts, blogs, and digital portfolios. Optimize your work for visibility. Talk about it, post about it, and let people see your excellence. Don't let it sit in silence. Keep talking about it. You never know who might stumble upon your project and offer you a life-changing opportunity. For instance, I once visited a company to approach the CEO to come and advertise on one of my magazines. While I was discussing with the CEO, he noticed the magazine I had brought and he saw the design quality of the magazine and some of my books and he was very impressed. Little did I know that he had been struggling to publish some books. He had tried so many printers and so many people that had been messing up with the job. The moment he saw my works, it solved all the problems for him. And that meeting turned into a 7-figure deal for me just because I dared to showcase my work. Today, you have the internet. Share your project widely. Someone will eventually see your work and reach out saying, I want you to do this for me. So what am I saying in essence? Get eyeballs on your project. It's the gateway to getting your first high-paying client. You'll be surprised that someone that's ready to pay premium amount is waiting only if you dare to step out and showcase your project. Step number 4 to getting your first 6-figure client is to target rich clients that you can help with your skills. There is a saying that if you want to catch whales, you do not go to ponds, you go to deep seas. In essence, this is to mean that if you want to get a 6-figure or 7-figure client, you must position your works to be seen by people that can afford to pay for your services. Always keep that in mind. Don't just spread your works for people who do not have the means to pay for it. This is not about looking down on anybody. This is business. And the goal of business is to make profit. That's why you cannot just spread your works for people who do not have the means to pay for it. You have to attract clients who can pay for your services. Business isn't charity. It's not driven by pity. You are working to take care of yourself, your family, and aging parents as the case may be. And that requires income. So your services must be paid for. That's why you have to be intentional about your distribution strategy. Find the right audience. People who are capable, authentic, and are ready to invest in your offers. I remember when we started distributing my newsletters in the 90s. It wasn't always easy to control who received my newsletters. Sometimes it fell into the wrong hands. I invested a lot in writing, printing, and even in posting the newsletters to people. Yet, some recipients will write back to us asking us for financial assistance or food. That was never our intention. Our goal was to distribute these newsletters to be a blessing to the people and also to see if some people will be in the position to support the work so that we could print more and distribute all over the world and expand our distribution network. It wasn't our intention to distribute charity. However, when my newsletters reached the right audience, people that knew the value, their response was different. They wanted to support the work. In fact, some of them began to ask me how they could get the same kind of newsletters printed for their own churches or businesses. Some even called me to ask how much it cost to produce the newsletters so that they could send in their support so that the work would expand. That's the kind of audience you need. I guarantee that if your work reaches the right kind of audience, whether it's $500 you are charging or $5,000, they will pay for for it because the right audience can see the value of your work. I recall working with a well-known gospel singer some years back. She wanted to produce a book and she had tried out many printers who kept on messing up her job. The moment I got there, I knew it was something I could handle because I'd been handling the same kind of projects for myself for many years and I'd done the same thing for many other clients. So I suggested to her that instead of just doing soft copies, she could do both hard and soft copies. She jumped at it and she opted for both hard and soft copies. She referenced a copy that Amazon did for her and she asked me if I could match the quality. I assured her I was going to try my best. That project ran into millions because she was a client who could afford to pay. Don't target clients who cannot afford your services. Now think about it like fishing. If you want to catch a shark, you don't go to a pond, do you? You go to the deep seas. That's where big fish are. The same applies to marketing. You must go where clients that can pay for your services are. You must locate them. It's your responsibility to locate where they are and target them. For instance, in online business, we've noticed that people that have the capacity to pay are always people from the Western world, from America, United Kingdom, Canada, and so on and so forth. If you target clients from Nigeria, they wouldn't buy anything from you. They'll just be playing with your services. Most of them would even prefer that you do it for them free of charge. So how do you identify clients that can pay? You know them by studying their habits and behaviors online. Look for individuals who invest in high-ticket items regularly. They've been buying high-ticket things and it doesn't cost them anything. In fact, somebody told me of her sister that if the price of something is very low, she doesn't buy because she feels that thing is inferior. So such people can be targeted and you can easily sell premium things to them. This kind of clients do not hesitate to spend money on quality things. Online platforms make it so easy to identify such clients. Facebook will show you their behaviors when it comes to purchases. Facebook offers advanced targeting features. You can specify exactly who can see your ads, such as people who have strong spending habits, those who buy courses, products, or services like the ones you offer. Facebook makes it so easy to identify such individuals with good spending habits and ensures that your ads reach them because people who have a spending or purchasing habit are more likely to purchase and spend again and again. On the other hand, if someone has hardly purchased anything online or has never spent money to do anything online, such people are not likely to start with your product, which means they do not have a spending habit online. Never target such people because they will not pay for your product. So your focus must be to target those people that can pay. So after you've developed high income skills and you've started using the skills to develop personal projects, you must ensure that the kind of people that see it are the type of people that can pay for your services. So it's your responsibility to look for this kind of people. Seek out audiences with financial capacity and with a proven track record of purchasing. They've done it before, so your offer wouldn't be the last thing they will invest in. Look for such people. Whatever effort it will cost you to look for them, it will be worth the while. I promise you. So let's move to step number 5 to getting your first 6-figure or 7-figure client. And that is, you must be willing to work for free to hook the right client. That's another strategy for getting high-ticket clients. Work for free? Why? Well, don't overthink it. Let me clarify what I mean by working for free. Fishermen catch fish by using hooks and baits. Working for free is like using hooks and baits. That's why I always suggest that you must be willing to work for free for the first few projects. That's the hook and bait in marketing. The key is to pitch something that catches their interest. Identify what they need most in the organization and offer to solve the problem. For instance, I had a client that I published quite a number of books for. I noticed he didn't have a website, so I approached him and talked to him about building a website that will host all his books and other publications. I told him, now that you have quite a number of books, you need a website to showcase these books and other publications to the world. I said, don't worry, I'll build a website for you free of charge. All you have to do is just to pay for the hosting and be renewing the hosting and domain name every year. He was excited and told me to go ahead. Guess what? I offered to do the thing for him free of charge. But when I finished building the website, he paid me some money. The money might not be much, but it was something. Be willing to offer free services initially. If you do this a few times and prove to them that you can solve their problem, subsequently they will get hooked. And if they have problems around that area again, you're the one they will call and you'll be able to charge for future projects. You can tell them, for your next project, I will offer a discount. Normally, I charge X dollars, but for you, since you're my client, I'll give you a discount and I'll charge Y amount. Or you can say, normally I charge X amount, but I will give you 30% off. Over time, they will trust you so much, they won't want to work with anyone else. I have many clients like that. They wouldn't want to publish any book or do anything except I'm available to do it for them. Why? Because I've provided free services to showcase my value over time. They saw the quality of my work, my attention to detail, and my commitment to excellence. Things they couldn't find elsewhere. Many years ago, a young man approached me. He had learned how to repair generators from a reputable place, but he wasn't getting any jobs. The advice I gave him is what I'm giving you here today. I told him to target elite neighborhoods, knock on doors, and offer free generator servicing. I told him he should leave his phone number behind. I told him before long he would have more customers than he could handle. What's the lesson here? Be willing to work for free. And what's more, when you work for free, all the things you did for people for free can be added to your digital portfolio. So when you do something for people for free, ask them to give you reviews. And all those reviews and compliments can be used to secure jobs from other high-paying clients. I've done this over and over again, and it works. A lot of people resist this. They do not want to offer anything for free. Even small service providers can be so short-sighted. I remember a vulcanizer who refused to inflate tires, except patrons would pay the exact amount they charged. However, there is another vulcanizer just a few meters away who, after inflating my tires, would ask me to bring anything I had. Guess who I kept going back to? The other vulcanizer. Then most times, I would even give him more money than he deserved, and at times I would give him gifts. Why? Because he was ready to offer some free services, because he knew I was a client that if he targeted very well, I could pay him any amount he wanted. This is not about being cheap. It's marketing strategy to hook high-paying clients. Once high-paying clients can see your services and they discover that they can't go elsewhere, you can now give them your premium charges. They will pay. Even if they're not the ones that you're working with directly, they will refer you to other people that are high-paying clients like them, and you can charge them for premium services. This approach will earn you the trust of high-paying clients, and it will spread your work in front of people that can afford to pay for it. Let me give you some instances. For years, I've developed a habit of targeting certain things that I could do for people that I know can pay for my services, but I will offer it free of charge. For instance, I targeted a friend that was doing his 25th anniversary in ministry. Then I designed a colorful magazine for him. Let me show you the magazine. I designed this magazine, which is 24-page magazine. Everything is colorful and beautiful. Now, I did this for free to give him a surprise package. But guess what? After doing it, I've added this one to my digital portfolio. So people like him that can offer premium amounts will see this magazine and they will ask me to do the same thing for them. Guess how much I'm going to charge if I would do this magazine for anybody? I could tell them anything from $1,000 to $2,000 just to deliver 200 to 300 copies, and they will jump at it. Why did I do this? I did it for free just to give my friend a surprise package and can give me subsequent jobs that will run into 6 or 7 figures. That's a hook and bait in marketing. Also, I've done books for people that way. I will just target what they need and I will package it. Instead of going to meet them that I can do such and such, I will do it, take it to them, and most of them will jump at the offer. They will ask me, how much does it cost? Go ahead and give me 1,000 copies. That's how I've landed many 6-figure and 7-figure clients. And you can do the same thing. Be willing to work for free. It's the hooks and baits of marketing. By the time you've earned a client's trust after a free service rendered for them, they will be the ones asking you, how much do you charge? That's the truth. Once you've earned their trust, then they will ask you, because they know what you're offering them is not free. So they will ask you, young man or young lady, how much do you charge? This brings me to the next step, which deals with pricing your services. Start by charging from low to premium. What do I mean? When you are new to the market, don't copy the pricing system of experts. They've been in the game for years and they are well known. They've worked their way up, but you are just starting. For instance, if my standard rate for offering a book publishing service is $1,000, I can just tell a client, well, since I'm just starting with you, I will take $800, but I normally charge $1,000. Let them know how much you normally charge and just give them a discount since you're just starting with them. This way, they will know your true value. Alternatively, if you do not want to reduce your price, you can pack more value for the same amount. You can say, I can do 2 projects for the price of 1. This psychology will give them the idea that what you charge is what you charge. This keeps your pricing intact while increasing the perceived value of the services you render. So you must learn how to price strategically from entry level to premium rates. Even what I call low pricing is still premium when you compare it to so many other people. The goal is to start from where you are comfortable, then work your way up. The more clients you get, the more comfortable it is for you to increase your price and work your way up. Eventually, people will accept your rates without negotiation. The only discussion might be about the delivery timelines or bundling specific services. If you set out to take all these 6 steps I've discussed with you in this video, you're on your way to becoming a staunch business person, and you'll be surprised what will happen to your bank account henceforth. You who couldn't boast of $500 before can now boast of 6 and 7 figures. If you want to double down on this and change your financial story forever, I have a masterclass recorded. I've discussed steps you can take to build the legacy wealth, and I call it the Legacy Wealth Roadmap. If that sounds like something you want, I want you to click the link below this video to watch the masterclass of the Legacy Wealth Roadmap. And let's be real, life only gets better when you take charge of it. How can you gain control and take responsibility if you do not have the right information? That's why I'm here. I teach people how to gain control and take responsibility in the 4 major areas that shape a human destiny. The first area is wealth. You will agree with me that struggling financially shouldn't be your story. So when it comes to making money and generating income, I teach you how to gain gain control and take responsibility. The second major area of interest is health. When it comes to health, your physical, emotional, and mental well-being are not negotiable. The third area of interest is relationship. I'm not talking about marital relationships alone, relationships generally. If you can't manage relationships, you can't manage life. The fourth area of interest, guess what? Your peace of mind, which include happiness, long life, and protection. And all these things come from a life that is in order. That's it. That's all I do in this content space. I help you to gain control and take responsibility. So, if you're done with guesswork and you're ready for clarity, direction, and real strategies, I want you to follow me so that you can gain control and take responsibility. I want you to hit the follow or subscribe button and let's travel this journey together. Popping up on your screen right now is another video that I've recorded on how you can make your dream a big deal and achieve your heart desire right away. Click on that video right now and I will see you on the other side. Bye for now.